繰り返しのギャグってのを知らんのか？ギャグか！出口ならあそこだ。
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This will probably be the last Yamato video we do for a couple weeks. I want to explore the rest of the meta in the coming weeks. And I'm pretty close to centered in on the deck that I have been enjoying with Yamato. This week I'm doing again the 14 2Ks with Shinobu Momonosuke, and then 2 of Sanji's, 2 of Tama's, and 2 of the Luffy's. I did enjoy the blocker a little bit, so I am leaving the single copy in. I don't think it's not very often the card you need, but every once in a while it is the one you want. And it can be great to play off of Yamato or just play early if you have some extra Don with some stumbles. And then I want to try the one of Rebecca here. Good synergy with either Yamato or Momonosuke for some pretty effective turns in the late game, getting you an extra blocker here. Even though she's easy to bypass, just making your opponent work through more than one of them is kind of where I'm interested in being right now. But yeah, this is the deck list that we have. Pretty much everything else is standard, and let's go ahead and hop into some games. Alright, here we have a Nami matchup. This is a rough one for us. I've seen a lot of these whenever I go into the ranked queues, which is unfortunate. We need a mulligan, we need to find some ways there. This is actually, if we're gonna make it work, going second with Searcher, Yamato is a pretty good way of working it. Here I'm gonna take the Robin just to cycle cards through, and then we'll pass here. The characters on board rarely make a difference against Nami. Here, this one we just have to take. And then they get to draw, unfortunately. And we're just going to do our normal thing here. The Nami leader ability is quite effective at grinding us into the dust. I'm gonna grab the Otama, I think, because I think if we're gonna have a chance here, we're gonna have to do it through beating up on their characters here. We are gonna counter here. Let's give up the Luffy. I'm probably gonna play a Kikunojo here. Oh, Galdino. Oh, they're just gonna sit him on the field. Okay. I'm okay with this, actually. So we can do a 5K just to get the first card out of their hand, and then we can just do the Yamato. Here we'll trash. Let's double check that we do have one in the thing, so let's get rid of the Kinemon. And I'm actually tempted, because I don't have good attacks here, I'm just gonna pass to make it to where this Galdino isn't effective against the swing next turn. Yeah, and I think that keeping them off of cards is probably going to be useful here. They don't have a good way of removing Yamato, so I think we'll just be able to use that swing on the next turn. 7 here. I think I am going to counter again. Okay, so they're just going the hard blockers route. Now we have access to a little bit more Dawn, so we can actually invest a little bit more in our swings here. Okay. Unfortunately, the Marco represents a bunch of cards. We've got... Maybe we just park a Momonosuke? Do we have access to a Shinobu in here? We do not, it doesn't look like. So if we just park this Momonosuke and swing for 7 here, And then we'll pop this to protect it, but otherwise we're not worried too much about the let's see, we don't have anything to play out. We don't need a Yamato for next turn, so I guess the correct thing is just grab this Luffy. We're not going to play anything out, and then we can swing for 8 here. And then they're going to get the Zoro. I think this is actually going okay for us right now. Opponent has had a very slow start here. Wow, they discard the Gravity Blade, so that means they're not interested in trying to Gravity Blade me off of it. We still haven't found Shinobu, so we do need to look for that. A 5 here, we can give one of our 1Ks here. Yep. The Yamato can't attack, that's fine. I'm expecting a Robin here. For them to go back up to 4 life, but we will definitely plink away with their characters, not at their life. I think here we'll give another 1K here, and then we'll give a 2K, and then this is almost certainly going to be Robin. Yeah, I figured that was Robin. Alright, so we do need to find Shinobu. So that is going to be something we need to do. And I think in that context, we will probably play the Kinemon out. Okay, we do get it. Interesting. I think it's correct to swing a 7 here. Yeah, I think 7 is the right number here. Makes this isn't a free block and gets 2 cards. Let's see how they play it though. Oh, they do take, so that is useful for us, because it means that we'll get more value out of the. We're gonna grab the Shinobu. We get more value now out of the Yamato swing, because that will demand the use of the ability. Well, let's make sure we have the Momonosuke. I've definitely done that before where I didn't have the big Momonosuke in the trash. We have 3 here though, and then we'll grab Yamato. We will discard this counterless one, and we'll swing this 5. Okay, now they go to 7. I think at 4 life we can even swing with this Momonosuke to get more counter. And I think we will probably we'll get back half of the combo with our Yamato. Grabbing this one, and then we should grab the Momonosuke side back to hand. I don't think it's correct to play out the Nami here. And do we hold up the defense? I don't think we do, because it's only for leader. So we will have to use it if they're going to go at board, which I think they probably will. Okay, we got a couple cards. Alright, we'll see how this goes. I don't think we're in a bad spot here. Not in the greatest spot. Nami's always going to be a difficult fight. But I think that we've done a decent job manipulating the board state here. We want to protect this Yamato if we can. So let's make sure that we can afterwards. This is going to be a 10 and 8. We need a 2 and a 1. 2 and a 1. So we don't have a 2K to protect this, so we let it go. If they go at Kinemon, I think we have to let Kinemon go. So this we do defend though. All right. So starting out, do we start with the 5? We probably do start with the 5 here. And then we can get in some 7s. And then some 8s. They're eventually going to have to block. Some 8s. And then we're going to use up the event here, grabbing back Yamato. We're going to use the Yamato to pitch the other Yamato. It can't attack effectively this turn, so we will get back. Oh, we only have the unblockable one. So yeah, let's send it in. 9 here. We have them on 1 life. They still have a bunch of cards, and they can still hit triggers, obviously, off these. Yeah, they hit a trigger, which is unfortunate. And we'll pass here. Going 6s. I think it's worth to give up this Nami, just because it forces them to use in one of their other swings here. I don't think it's correct to take both, though, because this Momonosuke could represent one of the Shinobu, which would be stronger generally. Alright, so then they're going to kill one of these as well. Yeah. Well, they're only on 1 life, though. Galdino's going to make it to where that can't attack. Okay. And then second Galdino. Okay. I think it's actually probably correct to just go 15 at face. Yeah. Good luck getting out of a 15. That even hit a counter. And then we'll pass here. I don't think we die. And then we have 18 unblockable coming next turn if they don't find another Galdino. I think they've seen 3 of them already, though, so the chance of them hitting the 4th one is not great, although they have seen a lot of their library. We'll give up the ones where we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can take this one. No trigger. No trigger. No trigger. We are actually not hitting very much counter. Let's see what the other card is. Borsalino to gain 1. In that context, do we have access to the Luffy? Because that would be the best way of getting there, is getting another big swing in. We don't have access to that Luffy. It'd be too expensive there. If we play out 9 is 3 cards. Or they take. Borsalino's gonna be the card that gets me here. We don't have access to. Do we have another? We have one of these who could get back a Momonosuke. So let's maybe kind of weave these in here. Let's see how this runs us. They're gonna get their. I think they should use the Marco on this attack here, just so they have all of the cards. They're counting up their counter, no doubt. Interesting that they opt not to use the Marco. I guess they're trying to save Marco for an attacker next turn. But what we're gonna go with. Let's see here. This is 7. If we can hold up 2 events, that would be better. So 6. Let's just swing this 5 here. This another one that they should block that can. Okay, so they do just go to 7. Okay, so that's one less card. Let's see here. 9 Dawn. 6 leaves 3 left for... but we can't do that, and so we can get a 2K back. And then do we have the Ushimaru in trash? Yes, we do. We have Ushimaru, so that's a blocker. There's 2 left. I think the difference is actually not material because the 5K can't attack anyways. So let's do this one. We will discard one of the Yamatos. We'll get back this one. Getting back Ushimaru, playing Ushimaru. And then we'll do 8K. And then 8K. And then we'll pass here. We have 3 events, so this is our best shot we've gotten essentially the whole time. If they play another Boscholino, obviously that's rough. Here we give a 1K. Here we give the Ground Death. Eight. So let's do this. Another Robin, going to 2 life now. They have 2 blockers, 2 life. They pass back. This, I know I can do the combo here, so let's see how they act. The heal is definitely, like, the unreasonable spot here. So let's send in a 9 here. Let's just do an 8. I think an 8 is fine here. They definitely have enough counter. We're definitely not able to get through this much counter. I guess 8 at 5. Oh, this doesn't work that well because they just get to play a different guy. I always forget that. And then we're gonna have to just set up the Momonosuke here. Yeah, that's fine. Use card action. Oh, I hit 0 cards. Oop, well, there we go. Wasn't paying attention there and lost it to Dekia. But this is a really tough matchup. They just heal enough to where you can't ever get them. You can't put real pressure on them. And they were sitting on a ton of 2Ks. Let's hop into the next one. Alright, here we have an interesting one that I haven't fought in a while. That's the yellow Luffy. I'm not even sure 100% what they run anymore. Probably a lot of heal. They've opted to go second. I am going to mulligan that because I think I can do better. Yeah. This Searcher. Here we're going to grab the event. Because we'll need it for 7 Dawn probably. And then that will hopefully allow us to get back the Shinobu for the following turn. Ooh, this is really a nice pull here. Let's go 5. This is probably the event, unless they just didn't have anything. I could see them playing the event here. Let's see if they hit. They do not. Yeah, so keep going. Oh, they take both. No hit, no hit, no hit. Hit. Alright. Yeah, that's fine. I can deal with the 5 here. It also gives me something to potentially swing at if I need to. We are definitely going to take 1 hit here. So we're going to let Nami go, and then if he swings at the face, we'll take it. Because we would like 1 more card. Oh, they're giving Banish. 7? think we do 2K, 1K here. Yeah, and then we take this one. Okay. Nami, while not perfect, is definitely a viable start, because it still gives us room to play Kinemon right afterwards, which is perfect to pick up here. We're going to go 5 here. I expect them probably to protect this. Oh wow, they don't protect it. Then we'll do Kinemon, picking up a Shinobu. Yeah, Shinobu. And then we'll pass. I think we're in a great spot, I feel like. Obviously they have access to a whole lot of heal later in the game. So I definitely have to be cognizant of the fact that they're just going to be hard to kill. Robin blocker. If they go for a 6, I think I just counter here. 7, I probably... Well, no, I can still counter 7, too, pretty reasonably. Because the Yamato I don't need in hand. Yeah, let's give them 2 and 1. So let's go with 5. I think in that situation it's technically better to swing with Kinemon first in case they hit a Perona off of this. They're thinking real hard. They're going to play a character. Let's see what they play. That's unfortunate. They should not have countered or triggered that if they didn't have anything they wanted to play. They take. Are they going to hit another trigger? Probably. This is a trigger. Okay, well, no trigger. Grab you. Pitch that one. Swing at 5. We're in a very good spot, I feel like, at this point. Even though they have 8 cards in hand, we are going to be pretty rapidly pulling cards out of their hand. And they're not going to have access to... they don't have any board to kind of fight me back on board. They take another. Are they triggering another? They trigger that. And then we're going to bring back you. Here we have one of each, so let's grab a Momonosuke. No friendly targets here, and then we'll just swing it again. Do we have a big Momonosuke in trash? Yes, we do have a big Momonosuke. So that's a 0. Okay, they need one more card, and we'll pass. Ooh, they have a bunch of 1s, I bet. I bet they have a bunch of 1s and bricks. And we've stayed healthy enough to where the Kikunojos don't trigger out. So that could be what they were looking at with their triggers, is hitting those Kikunojos. This is one of the reasons I've liked staying a little healthier, staying at like 4 life. Because you're playing out of your trash, if your guys do end up dying, that's okay. And then if you have these really large bodies, it is hard for your opponent to punch through them anyways. And because they want to keep developing your board, because you develop as quickly as you do, they have to swing smaller with their swings here. Because I don't think I'm going to play out this Robin, I'm just going to just use it for counter here. I'm not going to... I have no big intentions for playing it. We'll be on 9 Dawn, so we'll have enough extra to do some enhancing of some of our swings here. 5 here, maybe a 7 on the next one. But I think maybe the 9s are going to be more impactful. So I'll probably just do a 6. Because it looks like they're holding up an event here. And the difference between 6 and 7 is still one event, but between 8 and 9 is an event plus. That's my logic here. So then we'll go with a 9. This may just eat the block. Yeah, there's the block. And then we can do Momonosuke and Shinobu. Use card action. You get back you. Here we're gonna pitch the Momonosuke. We're gonna swing another 5. And because this can't protect board, I'm gonna use it as use this last on to make this a bigger swing. Let's see if they get trigger here. Yeah, we've kind of equalized the hand size now, while still maintaining this really large board and life advantage. I should have even swung with this Momonosuke, if we're being honest. Momonosuke blocking here is not worth as much as his swing, I think. Because my opponent unlikely to go at face. Although if they go with a 5, then I think we just give the Momonosuke block. Nope, another Robin. Let's see what they do for swings, though. A 5. I am just going to block here. 8. Let's see where they want to put it. 8 at 8 is not where you want to put it generally. That's too easy for me to get out of. Game is not over. They still have access to quite a few ways of healing, and I don't think that I can end this turn, so they're probably going to have a turn to try to get them. Here we're probably going to play event into a Yamato, covering up this Nami, and then grabbing back a Shinobu if we can off of the heal or the big Yamato here. Do we have another big Yamato? I guess that's important that we figure that out. Ouch. Do we have another big Yamato? It actually looks like we don't. We should hit one off of the event. So I'm not too worried. I'm gonna go 5 here. What's the card that they hit here? Ah. Let's go 6 again. Let's go with a 9 here. This might be enough to get there then. Bring back you. We don't need the Momonosuke. Let's double check before we sacrifice. We did find one. So we will just swing a 5 here and then a 10 on the final swing. Yeah, we end up getting there. We do push through all of the heals in this situation. But let's do one more. Alright, another yellow matchup. This time against Bonnie. I am going to go second here. Try to grab my curve here. I'm going to keep it. This is risky though, because if I don't find Kinemon or Yamato, I might be in trouble. I am starting to feel like go first can sometimes be pretty strong. Because you aren't... Okay, we find Kinemon, so we're in a really good spot at this point. Here, we'll grab a Momonosuke, and then we'll pass back. This is going to be definitely an aggressive matchup. So we are going to want to grab as many 2Ks as we can and try to be pretty aggressive with counters. Yeah, that's what I figured. We are going to definitely... Oh, 5 is easy. We will counter this. We got a 1k. We can counter here. Do a 5. Okay, so now they have a hogback in the yard. And here we're gonna grab the Yamato for next turn. We'll see if this Bonnie gets in. What are they playing? Lilith. Let's see if they choose. What are they grabbing? This is definitely feeling like it's going to be a go it forward a little bit matchup. It's interesting though, because okay, so they have Verona that's going to prevent, most likely prevent, what's it called? Kinemon from attacking. Let's see here, yeah. Verona, prevent the Kinemon attack. Oh, no, they can't because he's got the plus cost. Okay. 5 is easy here. And then we also can get out of the 6. Yeah, we will do it. With no reason to give them cards here. It'll be pretty easy to starve them if they try to protect this. Yeah, there we go. If they hit something that triggers out to give them the Perona back, that's fine. We don't need this Yamato. Do we have one of the bigger Yamatos? We do. The hybrid Yamatos. Grab the hybrid Yamato. Next turn, we need something to play out. So I'm actually going to grab back the Yamato. I completely blanked on the fact that I had a second one. And so that's our plan will be to play out the Yamato next turn. I should have just grabbed a 2k though. The Bonnie's off the board, so we do get to take some hits this turn. 1k. If you want to go at Kinemon, I will protect him. S-Snake. A 7. Okay, we will let him go there. Let's go 5 here. Yep, that's fine. 8, get back. Yeah, that's fine. I think they're interested in taking at this point. Yep. What are they getting back with it? The Bonnie. Okay, interesting choice there. We're gonna play out this. We're gonna trash the Robin. We're gonna grab our unblockable one. And then because we have bigger bodies here, I think I am gonna hold up the event to protect my life. I'll take probably the first one. But if I get an opportunity on a 7k to counter, I will do so. Do we have the Big Momo? We do not have Big Momonosuke yet, so I need to keep that in mind. I'm probably going to be correct to play out this Yamato event here rather than play out the... okay, they're going to heal, probably. Yeah, and then they want to play out the Perona. The problem is the Perona doesn't do much for them. Yeah, I will take this one. No trigger. They do get their card here. 6, we'll give that. 7. Ooh, just because we can't get the Momonosuke in the yard and let's see here. So this is an easy first swing here. Let's see. I don't know if they'll protect this. They might. Flame split. They give it +1. Plus another one. Not sure I would have gone that path here. Let's see here. Do we want to go... I think I actually do want to go here. Yeah, so now they have very little pressure on me. We're gonna do this, get back one of these. Gonna discard one of the Momonosuke so that we now have it for next turn. Pop out probably a Dr. Hogback. Yeah, and then we can do this. Oh, we didn't have any Yamatos in trash? Oops. That sucks. And I guess at that point we pass. Dang. Oh, and I even hit the Momonosuke off the thing. Definitely something that's tough to keep track of, especially on Sim, because your graveyard is like, you can't lay it out like you would in person. We don't need you. We're gonna have to take this 10, I think. And we might have to take a Bonnie 2 10s here. So we definitely want to counter out of the 5s. Here, just give a 1. I'm expecting Big Bonnie attached to on 10, 12 at my Yamatos here. Okay, so they don't... Oh gosh, this is a... I'm actually gonna let it go. Because I don't want to burn my combo and still lose it. And if this is a Bonnie, then... Yeah, there's the Bonnie, which would have been an even bigger swing at it. And we are unfortunately going to have to take this here. Oh, they're going to go for a 5 here? That's not what I would have figured. Yeah, we'll take this one, and then we should be able to get out. Okay, they're not even going to swing with it. Alright, so let's do 5 here. Yeah, that's fine. They're at a 6k for the rest of the turn. I think it's correct to just go here. Alright, we have a big Yamato in the trash too because we let it die. Momonosuke. Yamato. Get rid of a Kinemon. We can go with a 6 here. Do we have the Ushimaru? We're gonna grab you. Do we have Ushimaru? We do, so I think it's probably correct to play out Ushimaru here. Multiple blockers, and then we get to do a 10 lead, so this should put them to 0. We have 2 blockers and 5 cards. I think we can actually make this work. If they hit something that KOs one of our blockers, that could be a problem. Okay, so they're gonna get another body. Okay, so we're gonna pass here. They have a lot of swings, that is for sure. We've seen them use 2 flame splits though, so unless they're running a play set, I think that will work. Okay, here's the Bonnie that will eat our last life. 5, 5, 7, 10, 10, 10. So 5. Give a 1. 5, give a 1. Ooh, it's a 6 here. Give a 2. 10. We'll give up the blocker. 10. Give up the blocker. Yeah, they got it here. 10. I don't know why they wouldn't swing the 7 earlier. Alright, so they do get there. how did I... Oh, throwing away the whole turn of losing out on the Yamato was pretty big. That's another big swing that we can chew through more of their cards or through their bodies. So definitely pay attention to what you are putting in the trash. On Sam it is, you have to go constantly check, because you can't like set stuff to the side. But overall, a decent game. Let's do a quick deck wrap up. Alright, so wrapping up on the deck, I think this is pretty darn close to where I want to be. I didn't end up playing the Rebecca, so I may just end up switching out for the Ushimaru in the end. But I do think this is pretty darn close to where I want to be. There are a couple of things that you could tweak the ratios on, like if you need exactly 8 of these Yamatos is a question, you could maybe look into changing one of those. I think that Robin is the other card that is sometimes a bit dead, so you could use this Robin slot for something that you could play on 3 or 4 more often. Even though this is card neutral, you do have to have one of the 8 or 9s, and there will be times when you don't have these. It can be particularly useful with this Yamato, just because it ups your counter and makes it to where you have a bit more of a chance to unbrick if you draw too many of these. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with Kinemon. So definitely one of the edge case cards here. Other things you could try is, because you're not using all 3 2Ks all the time, you could end up putting in a tech card here. Maybe a what's it called? A card like what am I trying to say? Shirahoshi, the one that makes your opponent discard. Just try to nibble away at your opponent's what's it called? Your opponent's hands. It also can, if you have some decks have pesky cards that they don't want to swing with. And so Shirahoshi can drag in essentially one of those swings so that you get to swing at it. Or otherwise just be a blocker in general. Like out of Nami, if they're playing the poisoned Luffy from Impel Down, they'll almost never attack with it. But if you give a 0 cost event or a 0 cost character, they're either going to swing at it with their leader or something like that, which means it was a blocker, or they're going to swing at it with that Luffy, which means that you have a chance to now clear that Luffy, which can be big. I think the Nami matchup is still probably losing, but that is an option. And then the other card that I was thinking of while playing today was Mancherry. Especially in this Robin slot, they would both be 1Ks, and Mancherry being able to get you back your... let me actually pull him up here, or her up. Mancherry gives back a 3 to 5. Okay, so it does not get back your Shinobus, but it can get back your Momonosuke's, or potentially even your Kinemon if you need to do that. So it's definitely an interesting option there. If you were to run Mancherry, you would probably also want to switch out some number of your 2Ks with 3 cost 2Ks. So let's see if we can find C2000. And then there's 3 cost ones that you could run. Not the worst. Or you could even run the 4. This one could be useful at just kind of clearing hand. You're running 14 of them, so a lot of times they're just going to be 2Ks anyways. So just having some variety in the attack, the types of cards that you have, is potentially useful here. You could run a T-Bone or something like that to snipe a 2K. But in this range, this 3 to 5 range, you would want to maybe pick up 1 or 2 cards if you decide to run the Mancherry. Obviously, you still need 4 Momonosuke for Shinobu. And Otama's probably the next best of the Wano type ones. with Luffy sometimes having an angle, and Sanji's main purpose is for the Robin. So if you're replacing Robin with Manchuri, then you would be able to flip these to something else without too much issue. The only downside is that they are less searchable. So just considerations for what you could do. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with where this list is right now. I'll be looking into playing some of the other decks in the meta just to get flavor for them and understand them from their side. But I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.